if y'all have anything, to input and, bring up at this moment, go ahead. Feel free to do that.
Okay,
go ahead, Dale.
All right. All right. So I just wanted to give a little bit of food for thought for new hosts and, anyone who hasn't actually utilized this method before. When you are trying to obtain some sort of information from your mentors or admins and stuff like that, people who basically solicit information to you for the betterment of your broadcast, right? The best thing that you can do is before you bring anything to their attention, what your main focus should be is to utilize the information that has already been provided to you so that when you come to your mentor, you make more sense. Like the getting to the end of that tunnel, to that light will be way easier for both parties because you've at least kind of like touched upon it a little bit so that questions that you ask are a little bit more precise, or just the ideology of everything is a little clearer to you, and you just need that extra little umph from your mentors or your admins because sometimes people they come to you and they don't really know what they need. They're just hoping that you tell them something that they possibly want. But what it does is it wastes your time as the broadcaster, and it wastes the time of the people who have to help you and also other people as well. So if you at least tackle it, because a lot of information, especially when it's feedback. Okay, so it's cool now. There's a lot of information, that needs to be learned over the course of a certain amount of time. None of this stuff is anything that you could just get in one day. So while the information that is being provided to you is there, just take your time and say, all right, well, I'm going to start with this section first. If a person has a pretty organized Discord or, WhatsApp, however they present their information to you, if they have that available in some sort of a way, just take bits and pieces of it and try to dissect it or digest it, on your own behalf. And then if there's something that comes up about a particular detail, that's what we're here for, because now we get to explain it a little further or to just bring a little bit more clarity to it because maybe wordplay is a little funny or, something of that nature that kind of gives you that hiccup to where it's like, I'm reading it. I'm not illiterate. However, I'm really not getting this. I'm not understanding this the way that I know that I should so that I can actually apply it. Because if you still don't understand, it doesn't matter how many times you read it, you're still not going to be able to put it, into play as a broadcaster because you still need that extra little clarity. So that's my advice to you guys. Go and actually read it off because I know people they're not readers. They're like, oh, I don't feel like reading. It's too intimidating or it's too much. But you have to do yourself that favor because you are in charge of your own entity. So when you don't do your job, you make it harder for other people to do their job, or it just makes it a lot, more difficult for you to get logical answers to whatever your questions are because you don't want to be vague about anything you present to someone. And then you also don't want to be all over the place when you're trying to, get information from whoever you're seeking it. So that's just a little bit of food for thought. I thought I'd just mention that to you guys so you'll know how to approach your mentors and people who are trying to help you.
Yeah. Real CB, you got anything to add as well?
I wanted to say something about the tiers, but I want to piggyback off of what Dale said. Reading is essential. A lot of you guys miss opportunities in your inbox because you are not paying attention to what BIGO is DMing you, what your agency is DMing you. Like if there's a limited time slot to do something and you want to get more exposure, maybe there's an opening for a live house, maybe there's an opening for an event, maybe there is an opening for a PK where you can network with 20 Marlins, Taylor, you have to pay attention to what is in your inbox. I have so many people that come to me and it's like, well, I haven't seen any events that will benefit me. And I'm like, well, you do makeup and they're doing a makeup panel every day for the next, next 30 days and giving you 30 minutes and giving you rebate for doing that. So like people don't pay attention. So reading really is essential, and you can miss a whole bunch of opportunities if you don't do it. But I wanted to say this. If you are somebody who is looking forward to these tiers, like these tiers are meant to actually encourage you to want to do more, to step up into the next level. Don't get lazy. Don't use, okay, I like now that they're offering 110 instead of going for 130, I'm going to stick to that 110. You're only selling yourself short. So like, even though that these changes are coming and they're offering it to us because they want people to feel more comfortable and more confident in doing these tiers, don't get complacent. Don't get comfortable, because you're selling yourself short.
You know what? Real
That's all I
CB,
got to say.
Real CB said it perfectly right. You said it perfectly right there. That is exactly what my account manager said. That is exactly what Eric, the head of BIGO, said. He wants to help all you guys build your wallets. He wants to help you get to that next level. So he wants to introduce these new little tiers that you can jump in between tiers. So 1 month you might hit 10K. Then the next month you might get up to 20. Maybe you might get up to 30 or 50. But don't get complacent and be like, oh, I hit my 10K. I don't have to do nothing for the rest of the month. You want to definitely, keep building yourself up and trying to build. He wants everybody to be a 3 million tier host. He wants everybody to have the opportunities that we have at the top, right? He wants you all to have those opportunities. So, by putting money in your wallet, it's going to help you. But like CB said also, make sure you read everything, because BIGO's always giving away free beans for something, for signing up for a PK, for doing a theme PK, for doing a different, some of these PKs you see, if you go live, the first 15 days of the month, BIGO will pay you a rebate. You just have to pay attention to those little things that come on. If you come on and you do a live post, and just for you showing up, you're receiving beans. And what's the issue of doing a live post? All it is, you're live, an extension of your live. Your people are going to come with you to the live post. So when you're in the live post, most of your people are going to be in the comments. And then there's only going to be a few other, new hosts scattered or new people. But that is a great way for you to network and, put yourself out there and be on the spotlight for a few seconds. And, you can build your platform, and then it's going to lead for months to go. Right. So don't hesitate to jump at things that are offered, and, don't shy away from anything that's in, that comes your way. If somebody sends you any sort of beans, if they send you lottery tickets, if they send you anything, that is all adding to your value. Everything is adding to your value. I know some people are like, get out of here, you're only sending me this, or, how come you're not sending me any gifts? Even if they're just sitting in your room for 5-10 minutes talking to you, that is adding to your value. So you want to make sure that you are, keeping your gifters, your viewers happy at all times, because you want them to keep coming back, because they're being an asset by sitting in a room talking to you. They're bringing more people in the door that might be your gifters, right? They might be your gifters. They might be your new gifters. And, don't shy away from PKs. Make sure if you sign up for a PK, if you're a new host, don't shy away from them. Take the opportunity. If you get lined up with me, you get locked into a PK with me for 20 minutes. That is like the best one-on-one consultation you could ever have of your life. If you get locked into a PK with Marlon for 20 minutes, that's one of the best consultations you can have in your life. Take those opportunities and jump at them, right? So don't shy away from them. Be like, I'm not going against this person because they're going to whip my ass.
What's up?
What up, Ricky?
Well, I'm just trying to fix my.
You have any BIGO questions?
Yeah, about me. Trying to set up one and
Trying to learn it? Well,
and I'm trying to figure out how to love.
sorry, BIGO. I had to control the narrative of my room. He had no shirt on. I didn't want the nipples to get exposed. I didn't know what he was going to do. And that's the thing, as a host, you have to control the narrative of your room. And I couldn't understand them either.
Sin.
Hi guys.
Hey,
What's up, Nancy?
beautiful.
Hi guys. So I have a quick question. So I've been starting my PKs daily. I've started with the agency PKs because that was recommended. So I've been doing those every day. When do you know you're ready to take on family PKs?
So here's the thing, right? When you're ready, you'll know, because your wallet, you got to reach out to, a few of the members in the family and see what sort of, business you have. Because when you get into a family PK, it goes from, just showing up to a PK to actually, I need to win this PK, because now the rebates are, winner gets the higher rebate, the loser only gets a 10% rebate. So now you have to go into there with the intent of winning. So you're going to have to, check on your wallet, and you're going to look at your beans and be like, okay, maybe I have, I'm going into this PK, I have enough to do, 5K. Maybe I have enough to do 10K. So I'm going to reach out to, say, Dallamore and say, Dallamore, I see you have a PK the same day. If I show up to your PK and I, come help you, you have a problem come helping me on my PK, right? And then it becomes, a business relationship. Now you start to work with people in the family. So you'll know when you're ready, once you can start coming up here and, because you don't want to go into a PK and then all of a sudden just tell somebody, hey, drop on me, I got something in my wallet, but not know the intention of winning, and all of a sudden you did that for nothing. Now you just wasted all those beans you got because you didn't get the rebate anyways. So you'll know when to jump, right? You'll know when it's time to jump. You'll know when you have enough to, go into a PK. I think what you should do, because now you've been doing, the theme PKs and the friendly PKs, once you graduate to an impossible star, and you start at that impossible star, and you have enough business to do a 10K PK, then you're ready. Because once you get that first 10K out the way with somebody, you start your business relationship and you start to blossom into the future, right? So focus on your next step will be an impossible PK. And once you get to those impossible PKs, then you'll know you're ready. Because still, in an impossible case, it's only you versus the clock. You don't have to worry about somebody coming to snatch the rebate away from you, right? It doesn't matter what your opponent gets, right? As long as you hit that amount of numbers, you'll be fine. So start there, and then once you it takes a little bit, maybe a month to get to that point where you want to start. Now, if there's a BYOB in the family, don't hesitate to sign up for those. Go right away, grab a BYOB, because a BYOB, you're bringing your own friend, right? You're bringing Halo, and Halo's going to sit down for you while you get your rebate. So you can sign up for those. Those are great PKs. But once you get into those like competitive PKs where it's a 90% PK, a 70% PK, just because they look like high in numbers doesn't always mean that it's good for you, right? Unless you are going in there willing to max it out, willing to, win that PK at all means necessary, that PK could get dangerous, because you might go in there and be like, oh, I have 3 dragons. I might not have enough to max it out, but your opponent come over the top and max it out. You lost all 30K and didn't get a rebate for it, because those are winner takes all, right? So you want to make sure, you take your time, especially when it comes to rebate PKs.
And can I ask another question? I noticed when you're in a PK, you get points and not, like, the beans get transferred into points. Why is there a difference in between, like, why wouldn't it just be beans? Is there a difference between the two?
There's no difference between the two. BIGO adds a couple extra zeros to it because it's combat points, right? So those are combat points. Those are
for charm points. So it's the beans plus an extra place value. That's it.
Place value. So it just makes it look like, 10K will look like 100K on your board. And you're like, oh my God, I got 100K. But that is just in, charm point value. That confuses a lot of people, especially when they start to do business. It confuses a lot of people. Somebody be like, hey, I just dropped you 100K. And then when you go back and drop them, in the regular live, and they're like, oh, I only got 10K for that. What the hell is going on? Right? It confuses a lot of people. So, germ PKs, yeah, you get a charm point value. I've seen it so many times. I've seen somebody come in, I dropped 100K on you. It said it on your board. like, and then you go look at your contribution and it only says you dropped me 10K, so, you have to pay attention. Or if somebody drops you, 6 shields and it looks like they dropped you 60K, right? So you just have to pay attention to that at all time. And once you start to do business with people, keep notes. You keep everything. WhatsApp is your best friend. You make sure that you have receipts for everything. Make sure you start to screenshot your contributors at the end of the night. Make sure you figure out what you're doing, because a lot of people will try to play a smooth one on you. Maybe not your family, but just randoms will come out and be like, hey, I dropped you this much. Can you come back and see me? And then all of a sudden you feel, especially as a new host, you feel obligated. And don't ever let nobody make you feel obligated on here. If somebody drops it on you unwarranted, you are not on the hook for that. Just remember that. Now, you can do your best thing that, you might go back and, you want to keep that business coming back to your live, or you want to keep that person come back to your live. So you're going to go sprinkle some gifts back to them, but you don't have to go match for match. You just have to, make sure that you're treating your gifters well. At the same time, if they're gifting you, make sure you go back and find some sort of way to go repay them. But if somebody ever comes to you and says, hey, I dropped you 3 shields and you haven't even showed up to my live, like, I never asked for your 3 shields. You came and did that for yourself. There was no business there. There was no me saying thing. Don't make anybody feel like you're obligated to pay them back, because that's how a lot of, tension rises on this app. That's how a lot of people try to scam you, especially there's some agency owners in here that scam new hosts all the time. They'll go in their room, they'll drop them 5K, say, hey, now you owe me 5K. And be like, I never asked for that, right? And this new host, it handcuffs them. They do it on purpose to screw up that agency, to handcuff them from that host. Now that host feels like, their whole check is gone, right? So it's definitely, go ahead.
I think a lot of it is also like building relationships while you're in people's room and when they're in your room as well. Like, Dele, you were kind enough to spend some time with me, and Black Angel was on there. And we actually were trying out the, not the raffles, the lotteries. And we were just dropping lotteries. So now we're basically, I'm like, okay, next time I see you live, I'm going to come in and drop a random lottery, and make it fun. So I've been kind of focusing on just building relationships and, kind of going back and forth that way, instead of just being like, hey, take this and I expect it back. Like, it's not like that for sure. So thank you.
And when you're setting lotteries in people's rooms and stuff, so say I went into Real CB's room and I put fucking, CB likes it in the butt, as a lottery.
That's why I turn off my lottery.
I was so not expecting that.
Oh,
I mean, in real life, I would.
HBSC.
Let's say I did that, right? She's going to come back and hit me. As soon as I go live, the next time I go live, she's going to come back and she's going to do one of those fan lotteries in my room trying to troll me back, right? Because there's such a thing as a friendly troll, right? I do it with God Zeus all the time. I do it with Halo. I do it with Dalamore. We just go in, we catch each other live. We start to set little playful, fanful lotteries that are going to, come back, because with the intention, you're setting this lottery for them to come back and troll you, because you're getting it back. Right. So yeah. It's fun to build relationships that way. You can have a little playful banter. Just, it's different when, trolls are vindictive compared to when trolls are just having fun to troll each other to, make it a greater benefit. Right. So when if I go in and set a fan lottery in your room for, say I do it for 500 beans, I'm bringing 800 viewers to your room. It's your job as a host to get those 700, 800 viewers, so you have to do that. But at least I'm sparking up your room. Now you can do that for somebody else. And, that's a great icebreaker, especially, going into somebody's room out of nowhere and you're sitting there, you start a fan lottery in somebody's room. That is an icebreaker. They're always going to remember, like, who the hell set this lottery? They're going to look like, oh, shit. Oh, thank you for the lottery.
Especially if it's funny. Nobody knows I like funny.
And that's the thing, right? So you are, you're being an asset to those broadcasters. It's a great thing to be an asset to another broadcaster.
Okay, thank you guys. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome, Nancy.
Yeah, so I just want to piggyback a little bit off of something that 20 said earlier. When you guys are doing some form of business with each other, because you're a new host and stuff like that, I want to mention two things. As a new host, people who are more seasoned than you are, they're going to be expecting you to take the initiative to start that business. Why? The reason why they want that to be the case or whatever the case is because I mean they're taking a bigger risk than you at the end of the day because we're all taking risks. So, they want you to do that particularly first because what happens is you're new. So you have to basically earn your keep. You have to earn the respect and the trust and the loyalty from people in which you want to do business with. So when you want somebody to say, if you're saying like, you know what, I'm new, I don't really have much to, offer or whatever the case is, and I can't lose this, you have to actually be willing to take that leap of faith, because if you don't take it, then it's going to be very, very hard for you to elevate, especially when you're trying to do networking with hosts that are maybe slightly higher than you. So, you just have to take that chance or what have you, but you want to do everything calculated. You want to go on record to have, spent a lot of time around the person that you're thinking you might want to do some sort of business with, because that's you trying to have a better judgment of character. You give a person a chance to kind of like show you something different from what you assume about them. So once you've gotten a good gist of that, then it's like, okay, well, I think that I can actually do this. And then when you're taking your leap of faith, you're doing it calculated. You're not just doing it because you're like, I like your vibe so much. A vibe does not determine a person's morale. So at the end of the day, this is why you have to do it the way that I'm, suggesting, because look, these are all suggestions. If you don't want to do it that way, guess what? That's your prerogative. But, I'm a person who is experienced with these type of things, and you at least want to take it into consideration. Now, moving into the second part, right? All of your transactions business-wise cannot, under no circumstances, be over the phone. Why? Because there is no receipt proving that your calls are not being recorded. This is not one of those kind of telemarketers where they're like, this call is being recorded. It is not. So when it's your word against the other person's word, guess what? You just took a loss, because there's no way of proving that this person screwed you over, for them to be blacklisted from other business that can be conducted with other hosts. And they have to just take what you said with a grain of salt, because you haven't established anything with yourself yet. So you want to definitely make sure everything is in writing, so that when push comes to shove, it don't matter if they erased it on their side, you still have your part of the business transaction and their part of the business transaction as far as what you guys agreed upon.
Exactly, because none of y'all want to show up on Zeus's people want to know. Now, another thing that you got to remember too, say I go into Amazing Angel's room and I'm like, yo, Amazing Angel, I got a dragon. Can you come bring it back to me tonight? And Amazing Angel's like, oh, a dragon? Okay. She's going to send me a dragon. And then all of a sudden, or 20's going to send me a dragon, and I just got to send it back to him. But if you don't take into the conversion that you need to have 3.5 dragons, in your wallet in order to give me back that dragon, you're going to be handicapped. And all of a sudden now you're going to be scrounging all over the place. Oh my God, I don't have enough to pay him. Oh my God. And then it's going to force you to recharge, or it's going to force you to, expend your whole wallet that, hosting's not going to be for you. So that's why you have to, you have to keep in mind on the other way as well. If you're going in there and you're struggling for tier, and all of a sudden you're like, listen, somebody send me a dragon, I'll send it right back to you. You have to know the conversion, right? You don't want to handicap yourself. So know the conversions, make sure that there's like I said, there are some foul ass people on this app that will put you in a hole on purpose. They will put you in a hole on purpose. They will sit there and they'll be like, oh shit, okay, all right, just pay me back payday, and then handicap your whole paycheck. If you're only 20K from your next tier, and all of a sudden I got you, and they throw it at you, and all of a sudden, it would have been better off for you to stay at that one tier, or even for the big hosts, mid-level hosts that are hitting, they want to jump from 2 to 300K, and then all of a sudden they take 7-8 dragons saying I'll pay you back at payday. Then all of a sudden payday comes, and then their whole check is gone, and now you got to start at zero. Now you're all screwed. Now you have nothing in your wallet, right? So you have to know when it's time to jump. and don't let anybody handicap you. So, BIGO is a numbers game. BIGO is a numbers game, right? You have to know your math. You have to know your business etiquette. You have to stay true to your word because, listen, and you have to be able to build trust. If you cannot build trust, this app is not going to be for you, especially on the business side, because, listen, I know complete strangers. I have to send damn near 40, 50K dollars, not beans, $50,000 to a complete stranger, hoping that they're going to come back and see me. Right? So you have to gain trust and you have to, gain your reputation. And if you're somebody that's coming onto the business side, you got to make sure that your reputation is as par, because this app will come up and eat you up. So don't make any false deals. Don't come on here and rip people off. Stay true to your word. If you don't have it, don't ask for it. If you don't have it, don't ask for it. Make sure if you're trying to ask for it, you have it to back it up, right? Don't ever depend on a rebate. Don't ever depend on, a missing reward. Don't say, hey, can you send me this until I get my rebates? Because if that rebate doesn't come, something gets messed up with it. Now you're on the hook, and then you go mark down bad for business, right? So make sure if you're asking any sort of business on here or you're trying to build relationships on here, you have it to play. Don't sit there and come on here and work within your means. That's what I'm trying to say. Work within your means, definitely.
Can I add to that? When you're a good steward over your wallet, when you are a person of your word, it really will validate you in ways that you will level up your wallet. You will have people who will come in the circle and trying to bless you. I tell people when they come to me for business, if you do not have it in your wallet, meaning that if you say, for instance, you have 8 dragons in your wallet and you want to do 80%, 80% PK, and you're going to get 12 dragons, 12 and a half dragons, and you could pay me back the rest because you will automatically have 8 or 9 dragons in your wallet. Don't do business if it's not in your wallet at all. Because whether somebody doesn't show up to a PK, now you have to owe somebody back that you were hoping to get money. If you do not have it in your wallet, not have it in your bank account, you don't have it.
BW12, what's going on, brother? Welcome to BIGO.
How you doing? Y'all probably gonna be mad at me because I'm like a preschooler on this app, technically, because I don't know anything.
No question's a dumb question. We all start that, Daryl.
Okay, so we're gonna start from the get-go, Daryl. Can you explain what PKs is?
Well, PKs is, listen, there's 3 different types of PKs, right? There is competitive PKs, there is theme PKs, and then there is impossible PKs. So when you come onto this app, so the agency side PKs are a lot different than family, right? Family is going to be all your competitive PKs where you're, one side's a rebate, so you're going for a 70% rebate, and the leader's going to get 10%. On the side, you sign up for these PKs, and you have a goal. So you have a friendly PK, you need 450 beans, or team PK, there's a certain number that you need to hit in order for both sides to get a rebate. 500 beans, they moved up, right? So those PKs are what you want to introduce yourself to BIGO at, right? Because they're low level. You get a rebate, so you definitely want to sign up for agency PKs. You'll find those in your agency chat. Your agency owner should put those agency chat. But sign up for those because it gives you an option to network. Once you graduate to the next ones, which are box PKs and impossible boxes, those are ones that you have 20 minutes to get to 1 minute 20. Oh, 1 minute for this? Yeah, it's fine. If you get to those PKs, that's when you start to graduate from the theme PKs. You'll get into an impossible star. You'll get into an impossible box PK, and that's when you're going to start to do bigger business, right? And you start to do business with other here on the app. When you jump into family PKs, they're a lot different. Well, PK is when you go against another broadcaster for 20 minutes. You get locked into that PK for 20 minutes.